What is up, guys? This is Tristan, aka Young Pressure, and today we are going over how to make a ton of money pressure washing. This is free game, free value, so sit back, relax, enjoy each step because it gets better each and every way. So let's get right into it. So the first thing is that you need to get a pressure washer. You need to go and get the stuff, but the best part about it is you don't have to get this fancy $25,000 rig. You can start off with something so small. You can go to Facebook Marketplace and buy a $250 pressure washer and start with that. That's the beautiful part about this business. You can start so small and ask yourself, if you started today, would your life look better in a year? If there's a consensus within yes, then do it. But it does come with sacrifices, and we'll get to that point in a quick second, but you can start off with a pressure washer. The second thing is, when you get that, target badass people. Target people that are willing to spend. Target the wealthy people. Target those people that are making a ton of money per day. Because you've got to get out of the mindset of people wouldn't spend that. Your friends wouldn't spend that. Your family wouldn't spend that. Because quite frankly, you're not targeting those types of people. You're not targeting people like yourself right now. You're targeting the people that are making $5,000, $10,000 per day. And you're targeting the people that have that disposable type of income. When you can do that, you're going to accumulate a ton more income. The third point is you've got to charge accordingly. So whenever you find these people, charge accordingly. I would rather do one $10,000 job than $2,500 jobs. And if you want to look at it at a more minute scale, I'd rather do one $1,000 job than 10 $100 jobs. But you've got to make sure you are charging accordingly. This is so insanely critical. I got stopped by a guy the other day, and he's starting to run a window cleaning business. And he said, I closed 3 homes for $200, and each home is $1 million of value, which by just the way that I've seen stuff, they probably have a lot of windows, and that is way too cheap to be running an effective business. You've got to recognize there does come with expenses with this stuff, so you got to make sure you're charging accordingly so that your business can flourish and it can ultimately scale. So make sure you charge accordingly. Fourth is that you can minimize your living expenses and go all in on your business. When you have extra curricular activities that you're doing or stuff that may accumulate to a higher monthly payment bill, minimize those. I would highly advise you to go throughout and check, hey, is this really a necessity right now? And delete all the stuff that may be extra or maybe something that you may not have to have right now, and then go all in on the business. Mr. Beast always says this, that he aggressively reinvested into his business. He got this money from YouTube and literally put every single piece of money back into his videos, and look where his channel is right now. The more you give, the more you're able to take. And quite frankly, you've got to be giving more than you take. So it's more like a give, and then you can take, rather than take, and then I'll give a little bit. It is quite the polar opposite. And when you can do that, you'll be able to accumulate a bigger piece of the pie rather than a small piece. The fifth point is that you need to know how much time it takes to clean. Because when you can do this, then you can know how many jobs you can do in a day. And when you know how many jobs you can do in a day, then you can ramp up the volume accordingly. You don't want to get overbooked and then overpromise. I would rather over-deliver and under-promise. So make sure that you know how long it takes you to clean stuff. Because if you have a structural way of how you clean, then you're going to be able to know how many jobs it takes. And ultimately, the more jobs that you can accumulate, especially at a higher ticket, the more money you can make in a day. The sixth point is that you've got to be confident. You've got to be you. You've got to be your personality. You've got to not be someone else. You got to develop relationships with people, because people want to buy off of people, not off of businesses. And a quote that I love by Alex Hermosi is just, you don't become confident by shouting affirmations in the mirror, but by having a stack of undeniable proof that you are who you say you are. And then also, strangers are more likely to help you than friends. I want you to get that out of your head too, is the strangers are going to be your best friends in this business. Your friends, they're not going to really realize what you're doing, and they're going to be like, oh, you're charging that much? You're a ripoff. No, stop. The strangers are going to be helpful. They know and they respect the value that you're presenting. And you've got to surround yourself with better people in that sense. You've got to surround yourselves with people that are like-minded in that sense, that they recognize your value and that they believe in you. And you can ultimately result in a overwhelming amount of confidence. The seventh point is sacrifices. And I touched up on this in the first point, is that if you ask yourself, if you started today, would your life look better in a year? And if the consensus is yes, then that comes with sacrifices as well. So what are sacrifices that you have to take today in order for you to propel your business forward and ultimately make a ton of money? Well, some, for me at least, were friends, time, phone calls, hobbies. And the time that I allocated throughout the day was just checking in on 10, 15, 20 people. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I would highly advise you to do this, is go 1 month of just not trying to talk to people and really hone in on this stuff and see who actually kind of reaches out back to you. Because quite frankly, a minute percentage of those 15, 20 people that you've been reaching out to will probably reach back out to you. So you got to recognize who your real friends are, and you need to recognize the time, because the time is a big sacrifice as well. The weekends that you may be spending out with your boys or playing fantasy football, watching football, maybe you can minute that time and work more so on the business and actually reinvest into skills with that stuff. The phone calls, the hobbies, whatever stuff that it comes to your mind, and you probably know by me just telling you right now, you've got to eliminate those types of things. And it does come with sacrifices in order to make a ton more money. One other thing, I wanted to put this story out there. I was talking to a very wealthy buddy, and he has a buddy that accumulated $48 million of net after 1 year. And he bought him dinner. And he started crying because no one ever gives anything to him. No one ever gives anything to him. Do you realize how many sacrifices that has came to get to that point? Right? He's given so much. He's given a substantial amount because he literally said, no one ever gives to me. Because he's the giver. He's the one that gives. So give, and take, and have those types of sacrifices in your mind. 8 is you've got to sell right. You've got to sell in order to make these high-ticket processes be effective. You've got to be creative. You've got to think outside of the box, out of the norm, out of the normality of amongst your competitors. What I like to do is video estimates. I'll put my face in the top left hand of the screen and then go over the estimate. I will go in person. I will give them a folder of some sort or a handheld thing that they can keep on. Give a gift. If you can track these types of big time clients and they like Joe Burrow, give them a Joe Burrow jersey. Go and give them a little Joe Burrow bobblehead. Go all out on your selling process and be creative with it, and that'll ultimately result in a substantial amount of wealth. 9 is you've got to follow up. People think that one touch is going to get them. Do you realize how many times it takes to follow up? I think I saw a statistic where it said people normally close by the 5th or 6th click, the 5th or 6th time that they follow up. So you need to develop a follow-up process with these types of people that may be pending, because if you can do that effectively, it basically reiterates this image, oh, I got to go and do this. I got to get this done. So go through email, go through text, go through phone call, follow up with these types of people. They will respect that hustle. 10 is ask them after the job. Say you go and do a job, if they have any friends that they could refer us to. Closed mouths do not get fed. So if you can ask them if they have any friends that they could refer us to, then that could ultimately lead to more jobs and more money. 11 is put signs, door hangers, flyers, your marketing schematics. You need to develop a system for this. And I'll tell you this, a great equation, very simple, is the more volume you put out, the better results that you're going to get. And the more volume you put out, basically you'll be able to see what works and what doesn't work. So make sure the volume is there. 300 signs isn't enough. Do 300,000. Do 300 door hangers isn't enough. Do 300,000. Do way more than you actually think is tangible, because if you can do that, then you'll ultimately get the results that you want to. And my last point is that you've got to be it. Guys, you've got to act like you've been there before. And your belief system is the strongest force that you possibly have, your willpower. And if you're willing to go out there and do it and be it, think about this. Ask yourself this question. If you were trying to be an all-time great at basketball, what would Michael Jordan do in this sense? What would LeBron do in this sense? And I know the Michael Jordan LeBron thing, but just ask yourself, what would they do? And then go do it. So what would a guy that's accumulated $1 billion in this industry do? And then you go do those things. That's a simple thing that you need to ask yourself. You need to zoom out and put yourself in a third-party perspective, and then recognize what these types of people are doing, and then go and do what they are doing. When you can do that, then you're going to ultimately be very great. Guys, I know that's a lot, but let me regurgitate everything back to you. So 1, get a pressure washer. You can get one for cheap. 2, target badass people. Target people that are willing to spend. Get out of the mindset people wouldn't spend that. 3, charge accordingly. I'd rather do one $10,000 job than $2,500 jobs. 4, minimize living expenses and go all in on the business. Aggressively reinvest into it, like Mr. Beast did. 5th, know how much time it takes to clean, because then you're going to be able to ramp up the volume accordingly. 6 is you got to be confident. Be you. Be your personality. Develop relationships with people, because they want to buy off of you, not off of businesses. 7, sacrifices. It takes a lot of sacrifices to make a lot of money. Your friends, your time, your phone calls, your hobbies, whatever that comes to your mind, delete it. 8, selling. Be creative. Video estimates, folders, give a gift. Go all out on that process. 9 is follow up. 10, ask if they have any friends that they could refer us to. 11, your marketing stuff, your signs, your door hangers, your flyers. The more volume you do, the better results that you get. And then 12, you've got to be the part. You've got to be that billionaire that has done this before, and ask, what would they do in this instance, and then go do it. Guys, if you got any type of value out of this, and if you're new to the channel, I love you. And you can smash that subscribe button, as I'm posting a ton of free game, free value. So I want to see your business propel forward. I do this because I believe, like I said, the more I give, the more I'm going to be able to take. And as give. I don't sell anything. I don't do anything like that. This is all free, and give. And ultimately, hopefully I can meet a couple of you guys and take some knowledge as well. But guys, in this next video that I'm about to propose to you, I would highly advise you to go and look at it, go over the hardest parts of the pressure washing business. Best part about the video is that I tell you how to fix it. So go and take a look at it. I'm going to prop it in the middle of the screen. I'm going to get out of here. Peace.